Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to the first ever episode of Wayward Something podcast. I'm Joelle. I'm going to be joined in just a moment by my oldest friend, Rachel. Rachel and I have been friends since we were 12 years old, but now we're in our 30s and we live on opposite sides of the country, and COVID's currently happening, so it's difficult to maintain a relationship over Zoom. Know what I mean? And instead of just letting the relationship, die, we decided to do something weekly where we talk about our favorite show, and then we decided to record that and put that on the internet for reasons I can't quite explain to you. Anyway, we're going to talk about the first ever episode of Supernatural, and you are going to join us in a conversation already in progress. Thank you.
Last couple weeks.
Now you're breaking up.
I just drank some water. Maybe that was it.
I don't think that was it, Rachel. I think it was your internet connection.
It could have been a weird sound like this.
No, it was a more computery sound. It was like you were being downloaded into the Matrix.
Oh my gosh, I hate it when that happens. So, aging sucks.
True that.
We just watched, what's that? Oh yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that song where he's like, what's this?
Yeah.
This morning I woke up and I just hurt in so many places. It's like, what's this? So that, like, I have a new perspective watching Supernatural, right? So I'm like, man, how these guys get beat up all the time and they still walk around functioning? And you know they're not going to a massage therapist or to PT like I do. Like, what the heck?
I was thinking about, like, they drink, like, a 12-pack of beer, but they're still like, Ab City. It's ridiculous.
I know. Or they drink a 12-pack of beer and they, function the next day. I guess they did show Sam hungover that one time.
Yeah. But Dean, has Dean ever been hungover?
I don't think so. Not nearly as much as he should have been, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even drink anymore.
Lame.
I would like to. But also, it doesn't agree with me, apparently. So.
Bummer.
I know, man. Like I said, getting old sucks. I think my mom can drink more than me.
That's impressive.
Oh.
I've never seen your mom finish a drink. I've seen her have a drink, but then, never finish it. Can I help you?
I have seen her finish a drink.
There's a recording session going on in here. Do you mind?
Sir, do not enter when the light is on.
Sir, the light is on. We're on the air. So, Rachel, speaking of recording, do you want to actually start? So,
man.
Okay. So, Rachel.
Yes?
Are you prepared to stop talking about personal details of our lives?
Yes.
Alright. So, the podcast starts now.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, so are we pretending like we didn't have a podcast already about it?
No, we can, nobody's listening to this, so who cares? We've done this 4 times.
No, so far just, I think 2. This will be the 3rd.
Okay, there was that one time where we didn't even watch anything. You couldn't figure out a microphone.
Because I was struggling hard with the microphone and whatnot. By the way, do you want me to record my end?
Sure.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, it couldn't hurt.
Okay, hold on. I'm pulling up my voice recorder.
Oh, God.
And, okay. There, I'm recording.
Okay, I thought it was going to be your video camera's on the ground and all of that. Like it was.
No, that was 3 weeks ago, remember?
Yes. I do remember. Rachel?
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
We're here to talk about Supernatural television show.
Yes, we are.
Started 15 years ago. 2005.
That's right.
When we were itty bitty babies.
2005. Itty
bitty babies. Or juniors in high school. Whatever.
Yes, we were.
Okay, so what's the plot of Supernatural, if you had to summarize it?
Well, two guys brothers run around and save the world and die.
Yeah.
And over.
Die over and over again.
And they're entertaining, to watch doing, dying to save the world.
That's very true. I love watching them die. It's my favorite part.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a fun show.
So in the first episode, we start in 1983, Lawrence, Kansas. This is all taken from the very reputable source of Wikipedia. Mary Winchester,
all right,
played by Samantha Smith. She's investigating a sound coming. I don't know why I said sound so weird. A sound coming from her infant son's nursery.
Yes.
You remember this?
I do.
She's in a nightgown. She's walking through the hall. Looks in Sam's nursery. She sees a figure.
The long night.
Yeah, a very old woman nightgown.
Actually wear a nightgown like that, except my mom.
Yeah, my mom wore a nightgown like that too. Women in the 80s wear nightgowns like that.
I guess so.
What happened? Because I'm just a t-shirt and shorts kind of person.
Yeah, same here. Except I've evolved to a tank top, or devolved. Tank top and shorts.
Yeah, I think that's devolving.
My pits need to breathe.
It's good information to share with the internet.
They need to know.
Yeah.
They need to know.
So, Mary in her old woman nightgown goes to visit her son, her infant son, in his crib. And she sees a figure standing over it.
It's her husband.
Is it, though? Is it, though? So, this synopsis isn't good, because it says that she sees a figure over his crib and confronts him.
Oh, that's not how it happens.
No, she goes and she sees him and she's like, alright, you must be my husband John. Make that baby shut up. I'm gonna go downstairs for no reason and see...
I think it's because she sees that the TV's on. She can see the blue
Oh,
light.
so she's gonna go downstairs and turn off the TV?
Well, she sees it and then she's...
You cut out.
Like, what? Kind of like Jack Skeleton. What's that? What's that? Not bad.
Hey, turn off your video and maybe that'll make your sound. I don't want to look at your face anyway, so turn off that video.
I mean, I wouldn't want to either.
So, she's...
Stop video.
Oh my god. So she sees a guy, and then she thinks it's John, and then she sees the TV on, and then she goes downstairs. But that's John. So then she knows that person standing over the crib must be, who knows, ...
Something else. Someone else.
So she goes upstairs and she screams, and John leaves the television to go upstairs and find that she's pinned to the ceiling, a slash across her stomach, in a very dramatic way to murder someone.
Are you still reading, or is this you?
This is me reading plus adding things in.
Okay.
People on Wikipedia speak much more formally than this.
You're speaking
colloquially. I still think, like we said during our second or third attempt at this show, that Yellow-Eyed Demon's way of murdering people is just so extra.
It's so extra.
I'm not just
like,
gonna stab you through the stomach.
Dude,
I'm gonna pin you to the ceiling.
He pins him to the ceiling.
And then I'm gonna make you burst into flames.
Fire? Like, what the heck?
And we still don't know...
Yes.
We still don't know if, like, her skeleton is still stuck to the ceiling when the firemen get there. Like, how long she's stuck to the ceiling.
We don't know. Like,
no.
Did they see some stuff that made them kind of freak the heck out, you know?
Yeah, maybe there's a whole spin-off show possible for just the firemen who went to see Mary Winchester.
What would it be called?
Oh.
Wayward Firefighters. Fire Station...
Ghosts.
Unknown.
Fire Station... Demons. Or something about... Some wordplay with, like, hell and fire. Oh, heck! That's what they can call it.
Yeah.
It'll be shown on, like, PAX TV.
Yeah.
So...
Okay, this spin-off.
We should pitch it to Kripke, see if he's interested.
Oh, man.
So anyway, I don't know how Dean comes in the room, but somehow John takes baby Sammy, hands him to Dean. Dean, like, speeds out of the house with something that is clearly not a baby.
I'm pretty sure Dean heard both his parents yelling, and then he saw big flame, and he said, "What the heck?" And he ran the heck in.
How old is Dean at this point? Like, what's the age difference between Sam and Dean?
I was trying to figure that out the other day. I mean, in the episode, he looks to be, I don't know, I would say at least not older than 5, though.
No, I think he's older than 5.
Wait, no, he was 26. I think they said their ages at one point.
Yeah.
He was 26, and Sam was about to graduate.
So he must have been like 20.
He was 22, so
yeah,
4 years.
But they used that same actor for Dean in like later episodes, like later flashbacks. I'm pretty sure it's the same actor.
I don't think they do.
I could check that, but I thought it looked like that same kid.
Maybe they do, but there's also other flashbacks, and he's like a slightly older kid.
Yeah, well, that kid probably also was aging as time progressed.
I don't think it was the same child.
Okay. Maybe not. Maybe I'm imagining things.
It could have been.
Could be.
And then, at one point, we see a teenage Dean.
We do see a teenage Dean. Teenage Dean is not, like, convincingly teenage. He's like Tobey Maguire teenage. Kind of.
Yeah.
But that's, like,
those were good movies, though.
They were good movies, I love those movies. I mean, the third one was good for reasons other than it actually being a good movie.
But you know what, though? Man, for either of the new Spider-Man movies, like, oh, so-and-so's so much better than Tobey Maguire. I was like, hey, you shut your mouth. Tobey Maguire was an excellent Spider-Man, right?
Remember when he looked in the window with his shirt off and mirror, and he's like, whoa. I remember that. That's very stuck into my, 14-year-old brain.
Spider-Man was good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that was, the first superhero movie that that was one of, the first good superhero movies. And I loved it, and I was obsessed with it.
That one was really freaking good, man.
Yeah. Better than the X-Men movies.
I don't know. I really liked those.
I know you really liked those X-Men. At least some of them.
I did. I liked them a lot. I mean, it had Patrick Stewart, had Hugh Jackman.
That's true.
And they were a ton of fun.
Tons of fun. Put that on the poster.
But, like Spider-Man, the third one, not so great.
No, amazing dance sequence. I like how when he's a mean guy, he just has, hair in his face. He's very emo. That is the most early 2000s thing ever. I don't know when that movie came out. When did the third Spider-Man come out? But
it was, though. That was the essence of our high school years right there. Just all right there in that movie.
Oh, totally. But anyway, maybe we should still talk about Supernatural.
Sorry, we got off track.
Well, anyway, Dean runs out of the house. Dean, who may or may not have shown up, has shown up as an actor later in this series. No way to tell. We can't Google it. No way to tell. And he runs outside, and just as the house is about to explode... Man, I remember this episode so much, because this is not from the synopsis. I just remember it from, like, the...
We watched it twice recently.
That is true.
Me 3 times, because Blake and I are going through it.
Well, yeah. Just as the house is about to explode.
We've seen this episode a bunch.
We have. Could I finish my sentence? Would that be okay with you?
I guess.
Just as the house is about to explode, Jeffrey Dean Morgan comes out and grabs Dean and saves him from an explosion that was caused by the propane tanks they keep in their living room. Or something. The explosion was not sort of warranted for whatever was going on in that house.
That's a good point. I did not think of that.
I don't think houses explode like that.
I mean, maybe he did have a bunch of propane in his nemesis or something.
It looks like John Winchester, prior to being a hunter, seems like the kind of guy who would, like, buy gas in bulk when it was cheap.
Yeah, he did.
So, maybe they just have a bunch of gasoline in their house.
Love it.
So, 22 years later, we find Sam, played by Jared Padalecki, and his girlfriend.
What did you call him?
Padalecki? Padalecki? I'm something called a Padalecki.
I love that. Also, I don't actually really know how to say it.
I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly. Padalecki. I'm saying it like a Texan.
Should know.
Well, no, I'm not that Polish. I'd say it like a Texan. I'm sure is the way he says it because he's Texan. Padalecki.
Well, alright then.
Padalecki.
Padalecki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his girlfriend in a half shirt. No, wait, she's not wearing a half shirt at this point. She's wearing a nurse's uniform.
That's right.
They're celebrating that Sam's the smartest ever and he got a really high LSAT score. And
Did he score higher than Elle Woods?
I don't know. They don't bring that up. Do you think that this universe is the same as the Legally Blonde universe? It could be.
I mean, I assumed that they watched the movie.
Oh. No, I'm just assuming that Elle Woods, like, exists in this universe.
Oh, wow. I hadn't thought about it that way. You might be right.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, Sam is at a bar with his friends, and we establish that he's a super smart pre-lawyer dude. Gonna have an interview.
Who doesn't like Halloween.
Who doesn't like Why do you think he doesn't like Halloween? What could possibly be the reasoning for this dude not liking Halloween? Other than the fact that no dude likes Halloween. People, like, dudes are so lame when it comes to Halloween. They think that it's cool to,
You are
like,
so right.
Ugh, it's so annoying. Every guy I've ever been with is like, I'm not gonna dress in a costume. Like, ugh, come on, dude. Get over yourself. Wear a costume. Have
I know,
some
right? Like,
sense
it's
of fun. Yeah. It annoys me. Next time I'm looking for a boyfriend. Not that I'm about to break up anytime soon. But I'm gonna put on my, like, requirements. Must like Halloween costumes. Otherwise,
maybe
push
next
off.
time you should only go boyfriend shopping on Halloween and see
Yes. That is
who
such
really
a good
brings
idea.
it
That
to
is
the table.
such a good idea. It'll be a costume
I met
judging
my
contest.
guy on Halloween.
Did you? What costume was he wearing?
He was dressed as Wolverine.
Well, that's amazing. What era of
He
Wolverine?
did the hair and everything.
Was he wearing, like, the yellow costume?
No, he wasn't wearing the yellow costume. He's dressed like the Wolverine from the movies.
Okay.
But he did the hair, like, part and then spike up on both sides.
It's good.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Why isn't that
obviously was
hairstyle?
impressed.
Why isn't that hairstyle, like, taken off? People should do that hairstyle. Like the split spikies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If my hair was short enough, I would totally do that.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
I should. Okay,
You should
back to...
cut your hair, be like Wolverine. And
Yes.
and grow the mutton chops too. That's what
I don't
sells
think
it.
I'm capable of that feat.
Well, anyway, Sam, who, as we talked about, like, one of the times that we watched this episode, doesn't seem like the kind of person who would want to be a lawyer at all anyway. It doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. He seemed like you said, doctor.
Yeah.
I can see that. Or vet. I can see that.
I could believe vet. I could believe doctor, but lawyer not so much.
I don't know. I think they just chose the most boring thing to make him. And
Yeah.
smart.
Boring and smart. Are lawyers really smart, though?
I mean, I guess everyone says they are.
That's the important thing. The thing is that lots of professions that people think are smart, the people are actually pretty dumb. Like 90% of PhDs are just idiots.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Anyway, Sam hates Halloween. Why? Who knows? And then he gets up in the middle of the night. So this show so far is just a lot of people getting up in the middle of the night to find somebody in their home. And this time he has like a fist fight with some dude. And it ends up being, what? It's Dean, his brother. What? And,
Shocking.
I know. And it seems like the brothers are estranged somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Jessica walks in her weird half shirt and full makeup.
In her half shirt, yes, full makeup, not smudged.
Just lip
Lips
gloss.
super glossy.
The most gooey looking lip gloss. That would just
That
be
was
like
totally in.
all over your pillow. Gross.
That was so in at the time, though.
It was so in at the time, but it just made your lips feel like... I don't know, I'm just thinking about it. I just felt unclean.
I mean, mine just never lasted that long. I don't know what these people did. Maybe they just didn't do anything.
Well, it also,
Didn't
like...
eat, didn't drink.
They also made it taste good. At least the lip gloss that I was
It did
using.
taste good. It did taste good. It smelled good and it tasted good, too. But, yeah, so she walks in like that.
Mm-hmm.
Dean gets a little creepy.
Does he? That's typical Dean.
Typical Dean.
Oh, yeah, he talks about the Smurfs on her half shirt. Which, again, not really sure why she's wearing a half shirt. And...
That thing just looked not comfortable.
No, it just didn't look comfortable at all.
I want to wear something that's loose-fitting, you know.
Yeah.
It's not gonna ride up in weird places on my back while I sleep and make my back cold.
Yeah. I think her Sophie shorts were, like, rolled or whatever. Like the style, but not comfortable.
No, I don't know.
Jessica, what are you thinking? You deserve to die at the end of this episode. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert!
Anyway, Dean's like, Dad hasn't been home in a while. Or, wait, no, Dad's on a hunting trip and he hasn't been home in a while. Or whatever.
And that's supposed to mean something.
Yeah, well, does it mean something? What could that possibly mean? And, then Sam decides that he will go off with Dean. He's pretty sure that he can still make his interview for law school in 2 days. And they go off together.
Yes.
Yes. So then they go, what happens next?
Oh. They show up somewhere. How do they know where to go?
So Dean must know where their father was. He has this voicemail from their father that contains, like, the voice of a woman saying, "I can never go home."
Yeah.
And so, it says that they, head to their father's last known whereabouts, a town of Jericho, where he was investigating disappearances.
Is that when we see the scene with the dude driving in his car at night?
Yeah, I think that's when it cuts to some dude talking to, like, his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Who he apparently, like, cheated on or something. Or maybe not cheated on, maybe he was just, like, looking at other girls or something. I don't know. He's, like, having a disagreement with his girlfriend.
What a jackal.
Yeah, what a jackal.
Yeah.
And he stops by the side of the road to pick up a woman in a white dress with no shoes. Which, don't do that. Why would you?
And her dress is all tattered, and she just looks a little weird.
It's just, that's a murderer, dude. Don't stop.
Definitely look like a murderer.
And so he stops to pick her up.
There's no car around her.
No, there's no car around at all. Her car didn't break down. Anyway.
If it did break down, she would probably still have shoes.
Yeah, that's true. Well, sometimes I go out without shoes. Or I used to. Back in the day. If I was just, like, driving somewhere to pick something up where I wouldn't have to, like, get out of the car, I wouldn't wear shoes.
Oh, man. But what if your car did break down and then you were a crazy weirdo on the side of the road without shoes?
Well, if my car did break down, I wouldn't hitchhike anyway. I would stay in my car and cry until somebody came and got me.
There you go.
So anyway.
Alright, back to the show.
Potential cheater dude picks up obvious murderer chick, and she, like, lifts up her skirt and starts, like, flirting with him. And
not subtly.
Not subtly at all. It's 2005. We don't have time for subtlety.
And dude had just hung up on his girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
And then, dude, you know, like 2 minutes ago, and then new girl's all like, "Take me home."
Exactly like that. So then they go to this abandoned house, which is it's still a perfectly nice house. It's a 2-story, colonial style, beautiful. The paint isn't even that old on it. It's a perfectly good house. And he pulls up, but the house...
You know what that house actually reminds me of?
What?
Well, the other night, I just watched The Wishbone about Ichabod Crane.
Why the hell are you, a 30-year-old woman, watching Wishbone?
Because it's Halloween, and I wanted to watch Ichabod Crane without it actually being scary.
That's not a good answer to that question. First of all, it's October 18th.
So, you know, anyway, but in the show, not in the Ichabod Crane part, but in the Wishbone part, one of them remembers this, you know, recalls this horrifying memory he had of going to the house and opening the door and seeing these eyes inside.
Oh.
He thinks it's haunted.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what that house in this episode of Supernatural reminds me of.
But what was in the house in Wishbone? Was it like a cat or something?
At first, but then at the end, like after they'd all left the house, there were still eyes down in the basement.
Oh, scary. Scary
stuff. It was actually pretty scary. It's pretty creepy, man. Anyway, that's what this house reminds me of.
Anyway, yes, good. Maybe it is the same house, except this was filmed in Vancouver, and Wishbone was filmed in, like, Dallas.
It was, actually.
Down the street from where I grew up.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I used to drive by the Wishbone set every day on my way to school.
I read that. I didn't realize here, but, yeah. That's wild.
Well,
anyway, so, yeah, they show up at the house.
And she is like, "I can never go home." after she's been asking him to take her home. Women, am I right? They don't know
like,
what they want.
Lady?
And
which is it? You want to go home or can you never go home?
And then what happens? Something happens to, like, scare him off. And he drives away. He drives
I
away.
think he just gets creeped out. Like, he can't find her. And then he's like, oh, this is scary.
Yeah, maybe she, like, blinks out in the car. Like, she doesn't leave. She just disappears or whatever. I don't remember. Anyway, he drives, like, directly onto an abandoned bridge. And I mentioned this the last time we watched it. I mentioned it every time we watched it. It's weird that he's panicking and he doesn't veer off the road. That is the only way for him to go, is directly onto this abandoned bridge. It doesn't make any sense.
Like, where's this road supposed to go?
Where did he come from? Where did he go? Where did he come from?
So many
Cotton-eyed Joe.
So many questions.
Anyway.
But we won't ever...
Nope, we won't ever know.
Because he dies.
Well, he disappears. Right? Or no, he dies.
No, we see a lot of blood.
Oh.
There is a, implied struggle in the car, and then a bunch of blood.
Well, Supernatural is the #1 show of blood splatter explosions. But this is a fairly tame one.
I don't think I even remembered how gory it is, and I'm like, dang, this is some pretty gross stuff.
Yeah, there are some episodes
that's a little rough.
Oof, can't do that. But
like anytime there's a blender or a garbage disposal,
yeah, it's like Chekhov's blender. Well, anyway.
Yeah, lots of blood. But then you're right. He does just disappear. Apparently, the blood's gone.
Yeah.
I think I remember them saying that, and I was like, that's weird. There was a lot of blood.
Well, Sam and Dean show up the next morning, and they are super unconvincing federal agents because they're both babies.
Oh my gosh, they just, get out of their car after driving for how many hours?
Yeah.
And they probably smell bad. Their breath probably smells bad. They look like babies. They try and act like federal agents.
And they're dressed in, the way that they dress in the entire show. Just, grungy, earth-toned, Goodwill-type clothes. And Sam's hair is not the hair of a federal agent at all.
Absolutely not.
And they claim to be federal marshals, which I'm not sure why federal marshals would have any sort of say in what's going on this bridge. But anyway, it's believable enough for the cop there to give them some details about what happened. And then...
But not enough for the older cop who shows up when they're leaving.
No, the older cop is not at all convinced by them.
He gave them the...
Yep. And then do they go to the hotel, or then...
they leave.
Do they go to the hotel then?
No, because they don't go to the hotel till Dean's all muddy.
Oh, right. That's true. Okay.
So, I don't know where they go. Oh, they go to talk to Amy.
They go to talk to the girlfriend that dude was talking to on the phone before he picked up the murderer. And the...
Amy.
Super eyeliner chick and her friend.
Yes, kind of goth.
Yeah, kind of goth, but no, that's the style. That was the style back then. Tons of eyeliner.
That was actually the style.
So
they were right on about this lip gloss and this eyeliner.
It's almost like the show was made in 2005.
Oh, yeah. So they talk to her, and she's putting up missing persons flyers because she's worried about her cheating boyfriend. And
do they get, the information about the white woman from them? From those girls?
Do.
Okay.
I feel like maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that they do.
Something about the bridge, right?
Yeah. So,
and then they go do research.
They go do research, and then they find out about, do they find out about that woman then? Or do they?
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think they do, but they don't put it all together, right?
Maybe. So, there's like a woman, Constance Welch, who jumped off a nearby bridge after drowning her children. Or maybe, I don't think they make it explicit that she drowned them. Or it's just like her children drowned, and then she jumped off a bridge.
Yeah. Right.
So then they go to the bridge that night to stake it out.
Yes.
And, they have some brother talk about Sam being not into being a whatever, and Dean being really into being a whatever. The same conversation they have a lot. And
then Sam mentions Mom, and Dean freaks out.
Yeah. Their father has, like, dedicated their life to finding whatever has killed their mother. But that won't bring her back. That won't bring her back, Dean. And while they're having this argument...
Talk about Mom like that.
While they're having this argument, their car, the Impala, the famous Impala...
Yes.
It turns on.
Yes.
And Sam's
it
like...
does.
Sam's like, how did it do that? And Dean's like, my keys are right here in my hand.
And they both look really confused, even though they've apparently seen and dealt with ghosts a bunch, a boatload, like their whole childhood.
They've spent their entire
really
life.
Startled that this ghost has...
The ghost that they were looking
and then
for.
They run.
Yeah. They run in a straight line.
And in a straight line away from the car, and finally they figure out that's not the way to win this fight.
And so they jump.
And they both jump off the bridge.
Well, one of them jumps
Sam,
just over the railing.
One of them, Sam managed to not jump off the whole frickin' bridge.
Dean, leapt to his death. So, that is a bridge that a woman leapt off and killed herself. Dean leapt off of that same bridge.
Yeah.
And just got really muddy.
And he didn't just, jump. He did, a flip.
Yeah, he was, going
flip,
head
and
first.
It was actually beautiful. And he just did that.
And he's just completely, comically covered in mud, except for where they clearly avoided painting around his eyes and mouth.
And nostrils.
And nostrils.
Because dude needs to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so dirty, and his jacket was so dirty.
Yep. He's wearing a leather jacket just covered in mud.
So frickin' dirty. And so he was like, dude, I need to shower.
So where should they shower?
To the hotel.
That their dad was staying in.
And they find out their dad was staying, because I guess
that's right.
Have a credit card with the same last name on it.
So, the way that the Winchester family pays for their monster hunting is by stealing credit card information from people, making false credit cards.
Yes.
And they had a credit card in this person's name.
Yes.
But their dad had a credit card with the same last name, so they've stolen the identity of, at least two members of the same family. And
yes.
So they find out that their dad was staying in this hotel, and they break into their dad's room.
Yep.
And he's done the TV trope of printing everything out and attaching it to the walls, connected with red string, just in a way that would not be at all helpful for making sense of any of the information. Such a weird thing to do.
Yeah, I think maybe I'll try that sometime.
We should try and solve a problem by printing things out and attaching red string between the printed papers. See where that gets us. Rather than, making some sort of, spreadsheet or PowerPoint or just literally...
No, we don't do that.
Literally, anything else.
You need to print, you document out.
Yeah, and, rip out pages of books.
Yeah, some of the older guys at work will just, print stuff out and then give it to me. I'm like, oh, thanks. I didn't have this on the computer already.
Yeah.
now I need to dispose of it.
Yeah, I have had professors that, like, insist on printing things out and, like, bringing printed out versions to class. I'm like, okay.
There was one guy in particular at work, and he'd already printed me some documents, and then there was, I guess, another one he wanted to get me, and he's like, I'll print you that out too, and I was like, oh, it's okay, I've got it already on my drive, it's fine. He's like, I'm gonna print it out for you. And he just looked so confused, like, why would you need that? I'm gonna print it for you. So I was like, okay. And then definitely did not use the printout. They're on my computer where they're organized and I can find them.
Yep. I can just, like, search for something within the document.
Yes!
There's, like, a thing that
It's so much better!
It's much better.
Anyway, so all this stuff's printed out, and it's on the wall, and they're like, oh, looks like Dad was on Candace or whoever's trail also.
Constance.
Looks like she's a woman in white.
A woman in white. That's a woman who's been jilted or cheated on and comes to reap revenge on other cheaters. So, Dean
decides to clean up, and Sam, is like, I guess I better go talk to the dude who jilted her.
Yeah, no, wait, Sam is still in the room. Dean leaves.
He's still in the room.
Yeah, Dean leaves the room. He cleans up, and then he leaves the room. And the police
Somehow
are there.
He cleans himself and his leather jacket.
Yeah, he cleans his leather jacket in the hotel sink. And it's fine now.
I'm kind of under the have a duffel bag with him. He was just wearing one pair of clothes, so how did he wash and dry it?
I don't know.
And so fast.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess they do carry change of clothes with them. We just never see it.
It's in the back of the car with all the weapons.
I never see their clothes with the weapons. I just see the weapons.
That is true. Maybe, the entire Winchester family wears the same outfit, so he could have just taken some of his dad's clothes.
It's true. That might have happened. So yeah, he leaves
and
super
the police
clean.
Are there. Yeah. And the police
Don't know
are there.
how that happened.
And they're ready to arrest
it's the
this
biggest
guy.
mystery in the whole show, really.
That is the biggest mystery of all 15 seasons. How did Dean get clean? Anyway, why did the police want to arrest him?
I don't.
Did they, give him a cause?
And the older dude who gave him the stink eye is there.
Other than, he's clearly, pretending to be a federal officer, so maybe that's why they arrest him. But then they also...
I don't know how they tracked him down.
Because they also have their dad's journal. The police have their dad's journal, which is full of all his monster hunting secrets. And, a secret note inside with, coordinates. But then Sam, who is in the hotel room...
Maybe they told the hotel owner maybe they told him to be on the lookout if that guy came back.
But the thing is...
And the guy called him, he's like, his family's here.
When the police were there arresting Dean, they, are going to the hotel room, but we don't see Sam, who is in the hotel room, escape. He's just...
No, he's in there, and he looks real worried. He looks like he's trying to find a way out, but the next time we see him...
He's gone. He's talking to Constance's husband. And I also don't understand how the police got John's journal. They had to have searched that room before and taken the journal?
That's a good point. Yeah, how did they get that journal?
So, none of that makes sense to me. But anyway.
Well, we'll just move on.
Dean is arrested. Sam goes to visit Constance's husband, who lives in a dumpster.
in a dumpster.
He essentially is just living in this junkyard, even though he owns a perfectly good house. It bothers me so much.
I know that he said he couldn't live in that house anymore, and that makes sense, but he could have sold it.
He could have sold it for so much money.
And not lived in a dumpster.
No, it's a nice house. It's on good land. It's in California. He could have sold it forever. For so much. But he lives in a junkyard. He lives in a dumpster.
He does actually live in a junkyard. Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Yeah. And so that guy is like, he gives Sam basically the information that he already knew, that like he cheated on his wife, essentially. I mean, he doesn't want to admit it necessarily, but it's obvious that he cheated on his wife, and he's no catch. And Constance was a beautiful woman, so I don't know what Dumpster Guy is thinking.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense either.
Dumpster Guy is just not making good decisions right and left.
I mean, without, maybe that's why he lived in a dumpster. That's just where
he moved back home.
Idea.
Maybe that's where he's from, and he moved back after his children drowned. So then Sam fakes a 911 call so that Dean can escape. There's only 2 police officers in this police station. And and one of those police officers leaves a, not a safety pin, like a paper clip, like within reach of Dean, so he can pick the lock on his handcuffs.
They're apparently not used to holding people who can escape.
No. Or
also, it is worth noting
more than 2 people.
that Dean's been captured by the police. So we'll just start our tallies. Right?
Oh yeah, we should start a tally. Dean captured by police.
May or may not happen again in the future.
Who knows? Is any of this... I think in the future, Sam's gonna go back for his law school interview, and then just go to law school, right? That's what happens in the rest of this show.
Definitely. It's how the show goes. It's definitely what happens.
So,
for sure.
Dean escapes from prison. And
just jail, right?
I'm sorry.
In prison.
He wasn't even in jail. He was like in an interrogation room.
Right.
So
that's true.
So he escapes, and then what happens?
With Dad's journal.
With
now
Dad's
Dad's journal.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Important
thing to note.
And then
so he has Dad's journal. And do he and Sam...
I think they go to the grave.
No, so Sam's driving.
Yeah.
When he sees Constance. Is that the next thing that happens?
Yeah, so I think what we missed, what's in this Wikipedia entry that we might have missed when we watched this episode like 27 times, is that that the kids and Constance are buried at the house. Okay. But anyway, Sam is driving somewhere. And
what's he driving? The Impala? And how does Dean get over there?
Who knows? He calls an Uber.
There was no Uber in 2005.
Yeah, there's some holes in this episode. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm surprised this show got off the ground now, seeing all these plot holes.
Anyway, Sam is driving the Impala.
But I'm glad it did.
Yeah, me too. I mean, what would we have done with our lives otherwise?
I legitimately don't know.
So, Sam is driving to, I think, go and salt and burn the bones of Constance and her children. Or just at least Constance.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And she appears and demands that he take her home.
No, she shows up in the middle of the road.
Oh yeah, and he drives through her. Very good effects there.
And she pops up in the back seat.
Yeah, creepily.
And she was like, "Take me home."
And Sam's
he was like,
No.
So she made the car drive home.
Mm-hmm. And she tries to seduce Sam too. And he's like,
yeah, he was like, "I'm not unfaithful." And she was like, "You will be." So.
Which is inappropriate, Constance.
It's so inappropriate.
I mean, I know that you're a ghost.
Public TV.
I know it's not public TV, it's commercial television. But she's, even for a ghost of a woman who murdered her own children, that's low, okay? Trying to seduce a dude.
Yeah.
So that you can kill him.
So that he'll be unfaithful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that she can kill him.
By whatever ghost rule she has. Yeah.
And you can see her ghost face, and it's scary.
Yeah, it's like the Mummy. The 1999 Mummy. Where, like, his face is empty.
Yes. And then she reaches in and grabs his heart.
Yeah, no consequences. We should have a count for the number of times that their hearts get squeezed.
I would have died.
And there's no consequences after.
We should.
And then...
We should, because clearly she was doing some bad stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, even, like...
He was all like, oh, heck, my heart.
She's penetrated the skin, she's squeezing the heart, but then it's fine, because Dean shows up and shoots her with some rock salt.
But, like, do you think she left bacteria behind? Is he gonna get a heart
That's true. Do ghosts have bacteria? Do they have ghost bacteria?
They can become corporeal, so
yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, she touched that other dude. Maybe that other dude had germs. Ooh. And then she put those germs on Sam's heart.
She probably did.
That's gross.
Oh, heck. Well, anyway, Dean shoots her.
Dean takes the Uber, gets there, shoots her.
And then Sam's like, I'll take you home. And he drives the heckin' car into her home.
Yep, right into destroying the property value that Trash Man could have, reaped the rewards of.
Well, I'm under the impression this happened quite a while ago. I think if he was going to sell it, he would.
And yeah, I mean, but maybe he was just waiting for the right time. Maybe the market wasn't right for the last 10 years,
all that
years.
furniture and stuff.
Yeah. He could have sold the furniture.
Rugs and dressers and...
That stuff's expensive. Very expensive.
Yeah. I just don't know what goes on in that dude's head.
So they're in the house. And she's mad at them and she throws a dresser at them. And they're like...
And her husband could have sold for money and didn't.
Yes. A perfect, like a solid wood, nice looking dresser. Could have gotten you like at least 150.
It was nice.
Yeah.
And they're trapped.
They're trapped.
Oh no.
Oh no, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna die?
They're gonna die.
Yeah, they're probably gonna die. But then what happens?
And then...
Water comes down the stairs.
Then we see some water start to come down the stairs, and we're like, what the heck?
Creepy water.
Creepy water. And then children appear at the top of the stairs.
Creepier children.
Creepier.
Children are the creepiest.
They're so creepy. They're like, Mommy, you've come home to us.
Very creepy. And then what happens?
And she is like, oh crap.
Oh shit, my kids. I killed you because I was tired of all of this hugging. And then they hug her to death.
And, they hug her to death, and they drag her down through the floor. And a lot of cool special effects that we never see again happen.
Yes. And then there's just a wet spot on the floor. And Sam says something like, this must be where she drowned her kids. Like, she drowned them in the living room.
I know, that doesn't make sense to me. How would you drown someone in the...
Well, you get a bucket, and you take it into the living room, and you ask the person to come into the living room, and then kneel down near the bucket, and then you drown them.
Oh my gosh. You told me you saw a 20-minute version of Hamlet once.
Oh, yeah.
The Ophelia drowned by just sticking her head in a bucket.
Yeah, I did see that. I forgot about that. Ophelia, get your shit together, girl.
Oh my gosh. Well.
So your boyfriend killed your dad. We've all been there. Ugh. Anyway.
We've all been there.
Anyway,
so then Dean says something about Sam better not messed up his car.
Which he clearly did, because he drove it through a house.
I mean, It was in shockingly good shape for what just happened to it.
It looks fine the next day.
Maybe that house wasn't as nice as you thought it was.
Maybe there were like termites and that wood was just gonna go at any time.
I think so. I mean, there's no other explanation. How did a car drive through and just bust a headlight and that's it?
Yeah, that's true. The house was made of like balsa wood. It's just a dollhouse.
And so, I guess they leave.
Yeah, they leave, and Dean's gonna go continue to look for their dad, but Sam's gonna go be a lawyer. So Dean takes him to his apartment, and he goes in the apartment.
Yes.
And then what happens?
And then, Sam walks in, and the shower's in the shower, so he lays on the bed.
Yeah.
And then something drips on his forehead.
What is it?
What is it?
Is it chocolate?
And then it drips again.
Is it...
What could it be?
Coca-Cola?
Coca-Cola?
Coca-Cola? No, it's not Coca-Cola, Rachel. What is it instead of Coca-Cola?
Oh my gosh, it's blood.
Oh my god. And
he opens his eyes, and Jess is freaking on the ceiling.
Still wearing that stupid
Where
half shirt.
have we seen this before? Yes, she was.
And she's slashed across her stomach. And
slashed. And then the flames burst out, and he's freaking out. He's laying there on the bed freaking out, like, oh heck.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck?
What the heck?
And then Dean busts in and drags him out.
So Dean must have just been, like, waiting around.
Yeah.
Just like...
Yeah, I don't know, because it was kind of an awkwardly long time for him to just be sitting there, but also seems like not quite long enough for him to see the flames from the street, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Well, Dean just has a sixth sense about flames. He knows. He just knows.
Maybe he was gonna come in and surprise Sam in the dark in the living room again?
Yep, maybe.
And then he saw the fire.
This will be a fun trick. Let's have another wrestle.
So Jess is dead.
Jess is dead.
And Sam says, heck it, man.
Those are his exact words.
I'm hunting again.
I'm gonna get the thing that killed our ma, and I'm gonna get the thing that killed Jess, and I'm not gonna be a lawyer anymore.
And they were very cavalier about opening the trunk with all those weird weapons right there.
Yeah, right there in front of all of those people.
All the cops and firemen and all who were there.
Yep.
I was like, seriously?
And nobody wants to, like, question Sam about the circumstances of his girlfriend's death or anything. He just leaves.
And was Jess up on the ceiling still?
That is the eternal question of Supernatural. Once they're pinned to the ceiling and they catch fire, are they just always pinned to the ceiling? What does he use to pin them there?
If I showed up and if I was a firefighter and I showed up and their house was on fire and someone was pinned up on the ceiling, like, I would have thought the other person killed them and set the ceiling on fire.
I would have at least been a little suspicious.
And, that didn't happen, so then they drive off.
Yep.
And,
that's it.
Well, we don't see them drive off, but yeah, that's it. That's the end of episode 1.
They're off on an adventure to find a creature and seek revenge. Beautiful story.
That's right.
The start of 1,000 other episodes.
Oh my goodness. The start of 15 years of our lives.
Plus some extra time. We consider the rewatches that we will probably continue to do throughout our lives.
That's the truth right there.
Well, okie dokie, Artichoke. We done it.
We done it.
We done did it. We talked about the first episode of Supernatural.
We done did it.
Mm-hmm. We did.
It worked out pretty well.
I think so.
It might have been a struggle if we hadn't just seen it.
That's true. If we, tried to remember the Wendigo episode next week without, watching it, that would be... I don't know what of any of this is worth going on the internet, but... we can at least...
Just get to listen to it and it's gonna rock their world.
Oh yeah, this is gonna take the internet by storm.
It's gonna be wild, man.
Yeah, we're gonna be so famous. Okay.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
Well, you have a good night.
You too, Chid.
Bye, Boo.
Bye, Boo. Stop in the meeting now. Stop talking to me.